What is up with it? Today we are back and we are going to be watching a high rated game from the ladder with myself playing GP Luffy versus Make OP Great Again on Rayleigh. This game happened about a week ago, a little bit less than a week ago, so before the online regional this past weekend. I believe I was probably second or third on the ladder at this time. But before we hop into the game, I want to make an announcement. If you watched my deck profile, in it I mentioned that I have a coaching group coming to the community named Project Serial. This is going to be a 12-person group, very small. It's never going to be bigger than 12 people. And to be honest with you, I believe 7 of the slots are already taken by members of the previous iteration of Project Serial, which I had after One Piece Day. That was a 10-person group that I eventually had to shut down due to just life and busyness and not being able to be committed enough to it. But if you would like to be one of the 5 or so remaining people who get a chance to join the group, there will be a big announcement in my Discord server explaining everything, explaining what it is, the cost, everything. Link will be in the description. Again, you know, there's going to be an application thing, so it's not going to be a first come, first serve. Don't worry if you're seeing this in like a day. I'm not going to decide which applicants to actually accept for a few days because I need to make sure that it's the best potential people who are really looking to improve, who have the right skill set. So anyways, we're going to hop into it. This is not an easy matchup, but I did win the die roll. And I think that this is a pretty easy keep. We've got the green Zoro, which is great in this matchup. We have a 1-drop, a 2-drop in this case. And we have the Zoro for our forward on turn, and we get lucky enough to draw the Sanji and Pudding. So right there, just going to go ahead and take the 2K. The Giants aren't going to be live really for like 4 more turns. And this is a matchup where you really need a lot of live counter. Definitely, this is as good as it gets for an opening hand in this matchup. I've got 2Ks. I've got 4-5-4. I won the die roll. This is definitely a game that it feels like we should be winning. There's a question on if we should be taking or countering this first one. I think countering is just the safest bet. Here we actually have an interesting decision where we can take counter or we could take the 4-drop Zoro. This is actually a tough one. I actually don't know which one I prefer, to be honest. I think the counter is a lot safer, but Zoro is definitely viable to grab. I actually lean towards the Zoro, just keeping that momentum up. I'm not hurting for counter. I'm still at 4 life. By the time I play this, before I play this Zoro, like I don't need the counter next turn. You know, the argument to not grab it is that we could instead play green Zoro next turn. But I think we can just wait a turn before we do that. Yeah, definitely your win rate as green-purple Luffy in this matchup is going to come down a lot to how many dead bricks do you draw in the game. Specifically in the early game, if you're able to avoid, you know, finding the Luffy Taro, the SEC, the stage, it's definitely really big for you. And so far, we've only drawn the 1 stage. Also, if you're hitting these Namis, that always helps. Here, the only viable grab is Giant. I actually believe we saw 2 Giants go to the bottom. And this is actually exactly why I like countering that first swing, because there's a real chance that he might go 7-7 here. So now we have the question on if we want to play the green Zoro or the purple Zoro. The purple Zoro gets a brick out of our hand. Unless we grab the Sanji and Pudding, which we do know about the mole gun. So we actually expect a lot of the time next turn he's going to play that. So I think I think because we don't have any Bagwas or anything like that, I think we're pretty obligated to grab the Sanji and Pudding here. And didn't touch on this earlier, but electing to starve this game, I think when you have the green Zoros in the deck, it's just something you gotta do. I will say I was very fortunate in my second place run that I only paired into one Rayleigh. That said, it was late in the tournament. It was like round 8. So, you know, they're a good Rayleigh player. And they went second, went Boa on 2, Luffy combo on 4, Boa into Luffy combo on 6, 2-drop Luffy plus Mulligan on 8, Luffy combo plus Mulligan on 10. So it was not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. He just messed up like 1 or 2 things, which just gave me the smallest little window to win. I got lucky that he didn't have an unblockable after he comboed with it on the second to final turn. But, you know, you got to get a little lucky to win, of course. So, as expected, they are going to Mulligan this turn. And the Luffy is going to go ahead and swing 8. Kind of a weird number to start with. I think that's definitely a big mistake. I'm not exactly sure why we're going with that. Excuse me. Okay, maybe just going 8-8 and leaving this Luffy standing, which the thing about leaving your character standing in general as a theory in the great One Piece card game is that when you do that, you really open yourself up to the characters being rested. You just lose all that value. And I definitely messed up here big time by not playing this green Zoro before swinging. I could have gotten an extra swing at life. So definitely a big mistake on my part. And that could definitely come back to bite me, considering, you know, I'm starting to get bricked up. You know, the Sanji and Pudding drew a Sanji and Pudding. I have all these stage cards in my hand. My opponent's Luffy comboing here, which is the worst thing that could happen for me, is that they're able to find a Luffy combo here. I think we definitely are going to want a giant here. Just get one of these bricks out of our hand, draw a couple new cards. And finding that Rush Luffy is not going to be great. Finding another brick, also not going to be great. I think we definitely have to... Well, we could DMG the board here. But I don't think that's good enough. It could be good enough, honestly, because the board dies a lot of the time. So definitely something to consider, especially now that we drew this Bagua. I could definitely see an argument for that being the play. But I think we're definitely just going to play this Zorojuro and leave Dawn open, I think. Just getting some pokes in. Oh, actually going to go for the Sanji and Pudding. Sanji and Pudding allows us to have a bigger swing next turn, as well as more Dawn next turn, which when we have this SEC Luffy, we're definitely going to be trying to close out the game next turn. We can't play the game forever. And we do have this DMG and this Bagua, which should pretty normally get us out of 2 swings. So I actually like this quite a lot. Getting very unfortunately Mulligan trigger there, that actually could completely ruin everything. Like if he has another Mulligan here to kill this Sanji and Pudding, and he swings over the green Zoro, there's just no way we can ever kill here. So we're hoping that he doesn't go for that. Because it feels pretty unlikely that... I mean, maybe if he goes that route, maybe we could live another turn. Kind of depending on what the rest of his turn structure looks like. But If he just hammers our life here, we're going to be forced to go for game next turn for sure. Which is not an awful chance of happening. Like, we're going to have, okay, if he's going to swing 7 there, we just got to let it die. Yeah. So if there was another mulligan coming down here, it might be okay actually, because we'll probably just trade back board here. I don't see a great reason to not just DMG. 8's kind of the perfect number for it. Okay, so here we'll just try and survive one more turn. Say, hey, how many cards do you want to try and give me your whole hand to protect these, because it's not going to work anyways, especially because I have this Rush Luffy. Here we can either grab the Zorojuro or the 2K. I do not mind grabbing the Zorojuro at all. We have the extra Dawn with nothing to spend it on. Now the question is, do we play the Nami before we play the Zorojuro? I think the opponent should always take here. I'm not really sure what countering there does. If you take, you could get like an Ornament or a King Kong gun if you boost it. So I think countering there is a little silly. You're never surviving next turn regardless, and that's the writing is on the wall. Opponent decides to concede because I have shown the Gum Gum Giant. Definitely think I made a mistake this one turn with when I played the green Zoro. But I think the opponent made a few more mistakes, to be honest. And I also saw really well. Like, there's no denying that. I definitely saw really well. Not exactly sure if there was anything else I could have done differently. This game... Yeah, this was a good game. This is how I drew, though, in the game that I... Like, this, actually, it's kind of shockingly similar to how I drew in the game that I won in the online regional. The only difference was the opponent drew significantly better and got to go second in that game. But if you're able to Zorojuro, Sanji, and Pudding, green Zoro, just do all that, not get clogged on the bigs, find the natural counter when you need it, find the counter events when you need it. It's definitely a very winnable matchup. I mean, you're not favored by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not doomed. It's not like Lucci versus Teach or anything insane like that, in my opinion. But again, if anyone would be interested in coaching, link in the description to the Discord where I will be making the full announcement about all of the details. As some of you know, I kind of got started in the game by getting a lot of coaching. And the thing that I felt like helped me the most was I joined Impact's coaching group when he was first starting it, when there was like 4 of us in there, 2 of us in there, 3 of us in there, like very, very small. And having that small, close-knit coaching group is what helped me win Dallas, which is part of why I eventually started my own, because I really do believe that it is a formula that works. But anyways, enough of me fucking spieling. I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.